Well, g'day. I think I've still got a rant left in me for this evening. I have just gotten home from another long and lovely walk. It's been a stinking hot day. We must have reached into the high 30s today. And it's still 30 degrees upstairs, at least down here. I think it might be a bit lower. It's probably only about 26 or 27, so it's tolerable. Yes. I did open another beer because that's what you do at this time of night. And this is what I actually wanted to talk about this time of night. I mean, I was probably heading out at about 9 p.m. I don't know what it is now. It's probably closer to 10. But I forgot to look. And I don't have a clock down here, so I'm not counting. But I was watching satellites tonight. Yes. Oh yeah, it was just awesome. It's a beautiful clear night, so we had no clouds. And as I'm looking at Orion, the star system, Orion, Sirius and all that sort of stuff. Very, very curious. And this is what piques my interest, is because I love looking at the stars. I do it all the time. So anybody who thinks don't have a clue about stars, you're probably the one that doesn't have a clue, and you learn it all from books or what you watch on YouTube. I go out nearly every fucking night and look at the stars, and it's very, very curious. And Orion really, as I say, piques my interest. And so anyway, as I'm staring at it this evening, here comes a satellite. Now, I've always believed in satellites because, who are we to judge? We don't bloody question our education. We get our education and we believe it because that's what our education is. And the more you can be educated with, then the more learned you are in knowledge. But you apply a little bit of critical thinking towards this education. Okay, satellites. It's a constant bright light and it's moving really fast. And this one actually went, where you got your 3 stars of Orion before the panhandle, this one actually went in between them. It wasn't very bright, I will grant you that. It was one of the least bright satellites I've seen, but it was there, and it appeared from our parallax. And this is a word I'd like to keep coming back to, parallax. It was going through my mind all night while I'm looking at the parallax. Why the hell is there no parallax if the Earth is going around the sun and the sun is going through the bloody Milky Way, and the Milky Way is... Fair enough, okay, they reckon all the stars we see are fairly close, even though they're, billions of fucking light years away. They're the closest ones we got. You should be seeing some amount of parallax. So this satellite travelling through between the handle and Orion's belt tonight. Well, for one thing, here's where it makes no sense. Because the Earth is travelling around the sun, right? We're spinning on our axis from the east unto the west, or you might say from the west unto the east, because that's the way it's going around. All the satellites I've ever seen are going north to south. So if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour towards the east, why do these satellites take a straight line, dead straight line from the south to the north? That's just the first thing you gotta fucking think of. Let alone then, as I'm out there walking my dog as slowly as I can because it's been a stinking hot of a day, and he don't like the heat. I'm not a fan of the heat either, but in a way I like it. Let it sweat the shit out of me. I love it. So, as our planet is travelling in its eastwardly direction, while satellites are going in a dead straight line south to north, along comes another satellite. And this one is travelling from basically southwest to northeast. It keeps a straight trajectory the whole time as well. Then I see an aeroplane. It's doing its north-south thing. South-north, I should say. South to north. Flashing lights, so you know it's an aeroplane. All these lights appear more or less the same size, which sort of indicates they're not really that much far apart from each other. Now I know a lot of those stars that we look at, you know, okay, we see our sun. Our sun obviously is our local star, and it shines bright as fuck, and we can't see any other stars while it's around. And when I went out, it was about 9 p.m, as I said, and we still had a tiny bit of twilight, and some stars were more visible than others, but pretty much you could say all the stars are more or less the same size as each other. There's not a lot of difference. Some are brighter than others, some are obviously bigger, and some are obviously fainter. And then you turn back around and look at Venus over there, and it's bright as fuck, like a spotlight almost. But once the other stars slowly come out more and more and more, they're more or less the same to our appearance size. So I understand you have to, you know, use a lot of scientific thought to work it out exactly how big they are and how far away. I do get that. Believe me, I've been a fan of cosmology all my life. And astrology and astronomy, all of it. I'm sort of clued into all of it. And I still don't understand why when I watch an aeroplane flying across the sky with its flashing lights, why it looks exactly the same size as the satellites and the stars, who are all these massive different sizes. And why there is no parallax. That's the thing. If Orion still looks exactly as Orion has looked for thousands of years, as we've seen mapped out by the Egyptian pyramids, then how the fuck can we possibly be on this spiraling circle around the sun, chasing the sun through the galaxy, chasing this galaxy through the universe? There are just so many things that the ball earth believer has to believe in to make their model work, which have no logical sense whatsoever with what we actually see. Now, getting back to these satellites I was watching. So the Earth is spinning towards the east, and yet this satellite is going in a dead straight line towards the north. How does that work? How does that work? You know, we are moving at 1,000 miles an hour on our axis. No, we're not. We are perfectly still, and we see these things move in a perfect straight line because we are perfectly still, and they're not satellites. Now, I don't know what exactly they are. Calling them satellites is a really good idea to try and explain some other shit going on out there that we don't know about. There's a lot of shit going on out there that we don't know about. I mean, I even saw a falling star on the way home as well. This one was when I was, say, heading back towards the west, more or less. And this sort of came in a bit of an arc, and it did a falling downward thingy. Made sense. Whatever it was, it started falling downwards towards the earth. But I don't know what it was. I don't know what these satellite lights I see are. I'd like to know what they are. But I reckon they're just advanced technology that's hidden from us. And so they just say it's satellites. And yet, do an investigation into satellites. Seriously look into it. You will find there is no such thing. There's no need for them. We have all our towers and our cables and everything else. So whatever they are, they could be our watches, for all we know. There could be something that belongs to the elite, some technology they have to, travel to their parties. We don't really know, but there's no such thing as satellites. I saw 3 different ones just tonight. And 2 of them just disappeared after I watched them for long enough, going in directions that are seriously impossible. So, you've got this Coriolis effect. If you believe in this Coriolis effect, then you believe that's because of the result of the spin of the Earth going at 1,000 miles an hour. Meanwhile, we know sound only goes about 763 or something miles an hour. So the Earth is spinning faster than sound, according to your Coriolis, which high-speed bullets have to adjust for. But you float up a balloon or an aeroplane or a helicopter, and the Earth spinning beneath that, you never ever ever take that into account. I mean, fuck. If you don't understand the absurdity of that's probably why you still believe in a globular Earth where water curves all the way around it. Ships can stay upright upside down on it. And satellites, they don't have to worry about gravity. Yeah. There's a few other things I was going to talk about. I think I'm done. I've had a pretty long day. And I'm going to get back and type some responses, especially to you, my mate Wobbly Boost, I think you call yourself. And let me think, Trevor. Yes, Trev, I'm going to get back to you, mate, and I'm going to write a few responses, and I hope you're seeing this one, because I can see you're on my page, man, and I don't know, maybe we can find a way to spread it a bit further, far and wide. Obviously, I'm not fucking saviour of humankind. I'm just some pisshead Aussie fucking jongo. But at least you can see, I have some intelligence up here. In fact, I'll go so far as to say, I'm that dude they talked about in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that started telling the truth. I know, it's a big call. But you read that book again. I'm going to read that book again. It's an awesome book, but the galaxy, everything exists within. There's the dome. That is the dome. Every one of us has our own personal dome. And everything that we know, that we think we believe exists within. Everything that we think exists without is a projection of our own minds. Maybe that's why I'm going through hell, because I have to go through hell to realise the nirvana that is my birthright, that is our birthright, that we no longer have to put up with slavery. Dehumidifier's full. There's another 6 litres of water straight out of the air. Anyway, I better go and empty it, and I'll upload this and get back to some comments as soon as I can. Take care, fellow Earthlings. We know who the rightful owners of this earth are, and who the true jewels are. And it's not those ones who convince themselves they're the chosen ones. It's the ones most oppressed.